Hey guys, what's up? I'm here today to do my February and March wrap-up. So I never ended up doing my February wrap-up. By the time I went to go do it, I realized I wasn't going to be reading a lot in March, so I decided to just combine them all together so I have more to talk about. So the first book I finished in February was Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, and I have been buddy reading these with my friend Sabrina over on Instagram, which I will link her account down below. So in this book, we follow Scarlet as well as Cinder. I really ended up liking Scarlet's character. She was super fun and kind of sassy. I really liked her, and I liked Wolf, and oh my god, Thorn. Okay, I love Thorn. He is the best character. I love Thorn a lot. Okay, but this is a really fun book. I liked it a lot more than I liked Cinder. In Cinder, I found her to be a little boring in the beginning. But the last quarter of the book, I really enjoyed her. And in this one, I really enjoyed her parts a lot. Sometimes when I was reading Scarlet, even though I really like Scarlet, I was like, oh my god, when are we getting back to Cinder? But I really like this book. I'm interested to see the direction that the story is taking. I am currently reading Crest right now, and I'm just having so much fun with it, and I can't wait to see what happens. I ended up giving Scarlet 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Boyfriend Bracket by Kate Evangelista, and this was a super cute book. I believe I gave it 3.75 stars, right? Yeah. I gave this one 3.75 stars. I really enjoyed it. Didn't quite feel like a 4-star read to me, but it didn't really feel like a 3-star read, because 3 stars is like my okay level, and I really enjoyed this, just not as much as other books. So I went with a 3.75 because that felt fair to me. I usually don't bring out them 0.2575. I'm usually 3, 3.5, 4, But this one was really cute. I really wanted the couple in this book to be together from the beginning. They were just so cute. The boy in this, he does a comic series, and I think it's so cute, and I would love to read it. Oh my god. I do feel like the actual boyfriend bracket that her and her best friend come up with should have been in play a little bit more. I would have liked more internal struggle maybe over choosing the boy she likes and a boy she likes from the bracket. She kind of ended up just giving up on that, but it was still cute nonetheless. The next book I read was Wild Hearts by Jessica Burkhart, and this is just a horsey good time. I have been dying for some books that feature horses because I'm just obsessed with horses. They're so majestic looking, and the Heartland series was one of my favorite series growing up, and it's my favorite TV show, or one of my favorite TV shows at the moment, okay? But I really just love horse stories, and this one was super cute. It's about a girl who moves to a new town, and they are trying to rescue the wild horse population, and her dad is actually threatening them because he's planning on building a hotel or something, and it's right where the horses migrate. I believe that's the word I want. But yeah. So it's her trying to deal with, loving her dad, but not supporting what he's doing at the moment, and also she's been trying to find a place she fits in, and she really connects with the horses and with the people in this town, and it's her struggle between that. I gave this one a 4 stars. The next book I read is This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. This book I gave 5 stars. It was just absolutely amazing, and it was hard. I lost a book. My bad. It was hard-hitting, deals with some serious topics. I just found that this book really gets what it's like when you're in a depressive state and you just can't find your way out of it, and you just keep digging and digging deeper and deeper into a hole, and it just really connected with me. Have another book I read that I don't have the thing for. Okay, we're gonna Google real quick here. Because apparently I read another book this month. I like forget when I read like ebooks. I don't know. Good thing I had my list pulled up though. The next book I read was an arc of In Another Life by C.C. Hunter. In Another Life is about a girl who just moved to a new town with her mom after her parents' divorce, and she meets this boy at like a convenience store, and he immediately accuses her of trying to con this family that he's staying with, and she's just like, okay, like, I literally just met you, I don't know what you're talking about. He ends up kind of digging into it because the family that he's staying with are his foster parents. They lost their daughter to a kidnapping when she was like, I think 3 years old, so it's been like a long time. He swears that she looks just like the missing age progression poster of this child. He believes that she is the missing daughter of his foster parents, and he really loves his foster family. That was like one of my favorite parts, was how much he just loved his foster family. But they begin looking into her adoption and seeing if it's possible at all that she could have been this kidnapped child. And I really enjoyed the investigation process. The beginning of the book was a little slow because it took a while for him to like come out and tell her that he thinks that she's this daughter of his family. But once they started investigating it, I really enjoyed it. I really wish they would have like investigated a little bit more. I wish she would have involved her parents a bit more. She was like too afraid to question them anything. But it was an okay read, and I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was an audiobook, and it was of Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. This book actually just got adapted into a movie not too long ago by Netflix, and I watched it on there and I really enjoyed it, so I decided to check it out, and the audiobook sounded decent, so I went for it, and I actually really enjoyed it. I do feel like the movie did a better job of like compacting the book. There were some things that happened in the book that I felt dragged on a little too long, especially like Will and Ellen's fight. Like, that went on forever in the book. The pageant also took a while to like really start rolling in the book, and that was like one of my favorite parts during the movie, was just seeing them insert themselves into this pageant world, even though they are not beauty pageant stereotypes. I ended up giving Dumplin' a 3.75 stars because I did enjoy it. There were some things I was disappointed in, but I am interested in checking out the sequel, Puddin', which follows one of the side characters, right? Like 2 of the side characters. I think it's Millie and that one girl that I don't like her, so we'll see how that turns out. And the last book, this is actually the last book that I read in February, was Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This was I think this is my TBR jar for books that I really want to read. I picked this out of it, and I was kind of like, no, because I wasn't prepared to read this when I pulled it out. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. Really loved the characters. This is set in the Remnant world, which follows the Remnant Chronicles, which I have on my shelf over here. You can't see it because they're down below. But the first book is The Kiss of Deception, and there's a train going by. Okay. The first book is The Kiss of Deception, and that series is a trilogy, and then this one takes place after it. So you kind of need to read the one before to know things that are going on in the world here. We do see some of the characters from the other series. This train is getting louder, stop it. So we actually see some of the characters from the other series in this book, and it was just really exciting. I did not see Caden though, and I'm like upset about that. But Mary did say that he will most likely be in the sequel to this, Vow of Thieves, and I'm just like, yes, okay. I really enjoyed the new characters. I don't know if you say her name Kazi or Kazi. Now my dog is tiptoeing her way across the floor. I I don't know if you say her name as Kazi or Kazi. I was pronouncing it Kazi, so that's what I'm going to call her. But I really enjoyed Kazi's character, and I really enjoyed Jace's character, and I love Jace's whole family. I thought they were really interesting, and I can't wait for them to go back and see them again, because I just really loved his family and their whole dynamic. Kazi and Jace are like my new OTP. I was so obsessed with them. I got like a million little tabbies here. This was actually the first book I ever annotated, which I talked about in one of my other videos. But yeah, I really got some tabs going on. Let me see if I can... There's another train! Oh my god. Stop it. But I did annotate some. Here's like a dumb section that made me think of The Lion King, so I wrote down a scene from The Lion King. Here's me with some more like moments that made me think of song lyrics, so I was like, okay, write it down. Then just random comments and stuff. But I really, really love this book, and I can't wait for the sequel. I believe it comes out in August, so super excited for that. As I said, I gave this 4.5 stars. The first book I read in March took me like 20-something days because I decided to watch all 7 seasons of Pretty Little Liars in a month because The Perfectionist was coming out and I wanted to watch that show. And I hadn't finished Pretty Little Liars, and I felt like I'd probably get spoiled. I already spoiled myself for Pretty Little Liars because that show was so annoying. I just needed to know what was happening. But anyways, that's why I only read like 3 books in March. But the first book I read was Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I started this in February, but I didn't finish it. And this is like a mystery thriller-esque book, I guess. It's about these 2 twins. They just moved to the town that their mother grew up in. They are moving in with their grandmother for reasons, and their aunt actually disappeared in this town, and no one knows what happened to her. A couple years ago, I guess, this other girl disappeared and was found murdered, and they think her boyfriend did it. When they get to town, there's another dead body. There's 2 perspectives in this book. One is the girl twin, Ellery, and the other perspective is Malcolm, who is the brother of the boyfriend of the second girl that was kidnapped and killed. And it goes back and forth between them. Ellery, she's like really into like true crime shows and stuff because of like what happened to her aunt, and it's like kind of her trying to figure out what happened. And Declan is dealing with being the brother of a murder suspect, and even to this day, I think it's been like 5 years or something since it happened, but people still like look at him and are like, ooh, that's the brother of the guy that killed the girl. Eventually, there's some shenanigans going on, and it looks like the killer is back again, and then one of their classmates goes missing, and they're trying to figure out what happened and what's going on. Is Declan's brother... Look, I'm still calling him Declan. Is Malcolm's brother a part of this? I really enjoy this. I enjoyed her other book. One of this is Lying. I don't really tend to go for like thrillery mysteries, but I really enjoy her books, so if you're like so if you're wanting to check out like a mystery thriller, definitely suggest her books. I gave Two Can Keep a Secret 4 stars. The next book I read in March is a reread, and that is of Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. I reread this because my friend gave me an arc of the second book, and I was just like, yes! And so I wanted to refresh myself and remember what happened before I dove into that one. I really, really loved this book last year when I read it. It completely surprised me. It didn't sound like something I was going to be super interested in, but I ended up loving it so much. I actually have 3 copies of this book, I believe. Yeah. I have 3 copies of this book. I have the regular US cover. Then I have the Fairy Loot exclusive UK hardback edition and an exclusive Alprate edition. I had to have them all because I just love this book so much. But I actually ended up annotating this one as well, if you can see that. But yeah, because I just loved it so much. Some little tidbits, sneak peeks. I'm still like learning how to annotate. Most of the time I just underline stuff, like underline. But sometimes I like write little things that make me think of. There was one point, I was reading this one point and I was like, somebody's being sketchy as heck, and I went and actually read my notes from the first time I read it, and exact same page, I was like, someone's being super sketchy right now, and that was so funny to me. This book is set in a world where men control everything and women are just like regulated to being housewives and secretly like doing all the work, but the men get all the credit for it. And it's about two sisters, Nomi and Serena is trained to be a Grace, which is, I don't really know how to describe it. Basically, Serena is being raised to be offered to the heir and just like serve him in all kinds of ways, if you know what I mean. And the heir like chooses, I think, 3 Graces his first time, and then after he like becomes the superior, that's the word, he can choose like more. But when they get there, he ends up actually choosing Nomi to be his Grace and not Serena, and it just like throws them all off. So they're like, what the heck happened? Why did he choose her? I've been training for this my whole life. And yeah, shenanigans happen. But yeah, so shenanigans happen. Then Serena gets caught reading a book, although she doesn't know how to read. She just remembered the book from memory. Nomi actually stole the book and could read. But Serena gets caught reading and gets sent to this Mount Ruin place for like unruly women. And basically they have to fight to the death out there for the guards' enjoyment. And Nomi's trying to survive in this court life and trying to figure out what happened to Serena and try to save her and dealing with the heir and his brother and his father and just all kinds of things. But I'm not into giving like this synopsis justice, okay? Just go read like the synopsis, okay? Just read this book. It's super good, I promise. I mean it. Gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. And the last book I read in March was Queen of Ruin by Tracy Banghart, and like we know, I suck at synopsises. So basically this one just picks up right where the other one left off. Stuff happens. It gave me feels. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much, and I'm so thankful to Melanie for letting me borrow her book. Thanks, Mel. I'm just so excited. This book doesn't come out until July, I believe. Yes, this book doesn't come out until July, so I'm super excited that I got to read it early. I just loved it. My precious children are so precious, and I just love them. I am kind of left wanting more, or like a sequel kind of book, like so many years down the line. I would love that, to see like what happened. But these are the books that I read in March. Obviously I read March. So these are the books that I read in February and March, minus a couple ebooks. But yeah, even though I didn't read a lot in March, I still feel like I had a good reading month because I was, I think, ahead of my reading schedule and then like on par with it. And I can definitely catch up. It was just a little TV moment hiccup. Things happen. But I really enjoyed the books I did read. I am reading some really good books now. But yeah. So that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.